Hi, I'm Andy Webb from BeCleverWithYourCash.com, and in this video I want to talk to you about whether you should get a smart meter. So just over a year ago I made a video in this very same room. This is the boiler cupboard under the stairs at the bottom of my house in the basement. And the video I talked about at that time was about whether you have to have a smart meter. What some of the things are you need to think about if you were going to get one, because there was a lot of pressure from energy companies to get you to have one. Letters, phone calls, all this stuff saying, look, you can get one. We're in your area, you can have one. And you didn't have to have one. It wasn't compulsory. It's still not compulsory. And the reason in that video, I'll put a link so you can watch it in full if you want to. The reason why you had to be careful about a smart meter in particular was whether you were getting what's called a first generation or a SMETS 1 smart meter or a second generation, a SMETS 2 smart meter. The reason that distinction was important because if you got that first generation one and you switched energy provider, there was a good chance it would become a dumb meter. It would stop doing anything that it was meant to do. Okay, but if you've got a second generation one, well, in theory, when you swap energy provider, when you switch, and hopefully for a better deal, you should be doing that obviously whenever your contract is up, then it would also remain a smart meter whoever your provider was in most cases. And at the time, over a year ago, I wasn't switching to a smart meter because my company at the time, they were only going to install a first generation meter. Well, about a year down the line, 10 months later, it was going to be a second generation meter is what I could get installed. So I went ahead and did it. And actually, it was a pretty simple process. I booked in a slot for them to come along. Guy came along, very friendly guy. He swapped the gas meter for this new one, and he swapped the electricity meter for this one here. So that was a very pretty simple process. If you're worried about the disruption, it wasn't too difficult at all. I think there could be circumstances if they can't do it, if it's a bit awkward, they might have to let you know, they might have to move it. But for me, they were put in exactly the same slot. Now you might decide actually you don't want it in the same place, you'd like it to be somewhere a little bit more accessible, and if that is the case, there could be a charge. But that comes down to one of the big reasons why you might want to get a smart meter. Because if it is in a difficult to access place when you go and make your readings, well, it doesn't matter anymore because you don't need to make any meter readings. These machines will do it automatically, and they send it not using your Wi-Fi, they use mobile phone sort of signals, so you don't need to have internet wireless connection. They will send it via that to a receiver somewhere. I don't quite know all the science of it, but that means you don't need to cram your head through these tiny little cupboards or into loft spaces or wherever it might be. So that is one reason why you might want to get a smart meter. The readings are done for you. You don't have to climb into any weird spaces. And so the process was really easy. Now the big reason why I wanted to get a smart meter and why I went ahead with it was because I wanted an end to estimated bills. So yeah, okay, you can do your own readings. If you don't have a smart meter right now, you can get in there, you can get your own reading, you can send it off. Or every now and again, you have someone come round to check the readings to make sure it is the 100% accurate what you've been saying. But if you don't do that, you're going to get an estimated bill, which means it's not necessarily going to be accurate to how much energy you're using. Now this has problems, it could go either way. It could be that you're paying too much. No one wants to pay too much, do they? So if you've been using less energy than they're estimating you're using, then your bill, your monthly payments by direct debit, they're going to be a lot higher, potentially building up a fair amount of credit on your bill. They've got that money when really it'd be better in your pocket. The flip side is if you're using more energy than they're estimating, well, there's a danger that can also build up on your bill as a debt. And if all of a sudden they go around and go, oh look, you owe us £400, we're going to increase your direct debits from 60 quid to 90 quid a month or even more. Well, that's not good either. So if you've got an estimated reading, bad, accurate readings, whether that's from you giving the reading yourself or via a smart meter, which does it automatically, well then that means you're going to get the most accurate bills possible. So that's a good reason. So that's why a big reason why I went ahead and did it. Now the third reason you might want to get a smart meter is because you also get your hands on one of these. They vary from provider to provider. You probably can't see the screen. I have to do some close-ups of that. And this little reading will tell you exactly how much you are using. And they say this might save you some money. Now I'm a little bit skeptical of that because to really make this save you money, this little reading that you get, you need to track it all the time, every day, and you need to almost track how much energy all different devices are using, how much energy they use. Let me show you quickly how it works. So this just gives me how much I've used today. This is for my gas and electricity. Different displays for different meters, but this is quite a common one, I think. You can choose there, switch between just electricity, just gas, or both of them together. So today I've spent £1.37 in total, and 85 pence of that is electricity, 52 pence of that is gas. Now already much of that is made up by the standing charge. With most energy bills you pay a standing charge every day whether you use anything or not, which means even when you're on holiday you're still using a bit of gas, a bit of electricity, and then everything on top of that building up. So I'm not using much gas because I haven't got the heating on. I haven't really got using any gas appliances, not really doing anything hot water so far today, so that will be quite low. Electricity obviously going to be a bit higher. So yesterday I spent £4.35, of which £1.05 was electricity, £3.30 was gas. So that's a lot because I had the heating on. So that is quite interesting. You can kind of see quite how much a difference it makes having the heating on, for example, which I had yesterday. If you have lots of appliances on, like I'm using obviously the lights and the camera and all sorts of things to make this video, so that will use up a lot of energy. So it's fine, but I don't think it's worth it. I don't think this is a nice to have, but I think for most people, don't anticipate this is going to save you lots of money. Don't think that a smart meter will reduce how much you pay for your gas and electricity. The way to do that, the best way to do that obviously is to switch your tariff. Make sure you're on the cheapest possible deal out there. That only takes a few minutes, as I showed in a previous video. If you do want to kind of look at things individually, then this could be quite handy, but it still doesn't know exactly what you're using. You have to kind of sort of, essentially try things at different times, which to me feels a bit more hassle. It's very simple. If you use less energy, if you turn lights off, if you don't have the heating on for ages, your bills are going to be lower. So that's pretty simple. This isn't going to help you massively. So there you go. I think it's a good thing, particularly in terms of the automatic readings so you don't have to give them, and given the proper bill, not an estimated bill. That's a good reason to get a smart meter. This maybe not. Now I have just switched my energy provider from EDF to British Gas, which I'm surprised about that British Gas came out as the cheapest deal when I switched, but it was. Now this, as I say, it should be a second generation smart meter, so that it should be perfectly smooth when I switch over. So I'll let you know what happens when that goes ahead in another video. In the meantime, do head over to becleverwithyourcash.com, and remember, look below on this video or subscribe to make sure you get all future releases. Cheers.